Good evening and welcome into the Sportslocker, where tonight we shine the spotlight on the incredible progress of basketball at grassroots level here on the Rock. And I'm delighted to introduce two men at the heart of it all, women's technical director Marcelo Zubiran and girls mini basket coordinator Jason McMahon. Guys, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
And thanks for taking the time. Jason, I'll start with you as someone who's been involved in the sport for around about 30 years.
Yes.
How do you see the current state of basketball here on the Rock? Not just at a junior level, but more sort of generally.
I think, excuse me, I think the program's working really well. We have the referees who've been, we've done courses with the referees, table officials. Last year we did a coaching course. We had over 30 participants at level 1. That was really nice, a good turnout.
Yeah. And
we have an incredible response at the very bottom this year, both boys and girls. We have 4 clubs at under 15 and under 18. This week we had the finals, and we've got a really competitive men's second division team this year,
yep,
as well as the first division. We have 4 teams in the women's league. I think it's quite healthy. Sounds and like quite promising. I think everybody's pushing towards the right direction, working together.
So right down at the bottom of the ladder, mini baskets. That's kind of like that's your baby, if you will. Yep. Tell me a little bit about the program and how that's going.
Well, when we had Marcelo working for the federation. Nearly 2 years ago, Marcelo, correct? 2 years ago?
Year and a half.
We had a problem where we didn't have enough girls at grassroots. Because mini basketball, my point of view, mini basketball is mixed up to the age of 12. Because you introduce a new sport and it's fan-based. But we had a problem that we only had, we inherited 6 girls.
Right.
So we had a problem, so we said, okay, let's try and focus it a little bit different. So we split the boys and the girls. And last year we started with 6, which we actually took a photograph, and we ended the season with around 50. So this year we looked at what we were doing last year. And so, okay, let's try and evolve and look other ways where we can increment the numbers of participation. So, and now we have the good problem that we go to practice and there's no room for the girls. But, okay, the good thing is that we've got a good coaching ratio. We've got 10 coaches they fit the profile because they've been vetted by the police, they are qualified, they like working with children, they like being involved with children. And they're involved they interact with the girls. And I think we are a little bit victims of our own success.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yep.
So, I mean, I think it's fair to say there's nothing that engages kids, you know, as well as making the sport fun. I don't think there's anything that engages kids quite like a mascot. You guys brought to life a mascot. He's called Rocky the Ape, and I'm delighted to say he's taken the time to join us. So, Rocky, if you will, here he is. He's not bad at basketball either.
He's learning.
How's it going, Rocky?
Hello, Rocky. How you doing? All right?
So this is, Marcelo, this is the new sort of secret to your success.
Secret weapon. Up.
There we go. Is he obedient?
He's all right. He's doing all right.
He'll be okay, you know?
He's all right. He's all right.
Good stuff. Right. Rocky, if you just sort of sit there and...
Yeah, calm down now, okay?
So, he's the new sort of secret to your success, right, Marcelo?
Well, you know, he's part of it.
Yeah.
You know, we use Rocky as because we believe that between 6 and 8 years old you cannot really work and coach basketball. So our idea, we work in the subconscious of children, okay? Every time that they see, yeah, it's actually he's
I'm trying to keep serious.
To concentrate. I know what you mean. That's the effect that we want. So we work in the subconscious. Every time that you see Rocky, he's funny guy. You know what I mean? You remember basketball.
And it's about making him memorable.
Exactly. Yeah. So yeah, he's the guy here in Jeep, you know.
And how's it gone so far? And tell me a little bit about. We spoke about a week ago, the psychology in having a mascot and in sort of engaging the kids. And we see it similar with even bigger companies. We've got Tony the Tiger with like Frosty's cereal and stuff like that. And that's how it kind of gives them a hook to remember.
Right. We with Jason, we always looking to evolve and looking to go steps forward.
Innovate. Try to innovate.
Innovating, most of the time, innovating. So Rocky was one of our innovations because we believe very strongly that that in the schools they will love it. They will see him and they get it fun, relate basketball and fun. And in the end of the day, basketball is fun.
So you guys, you've not yet done so, but you'll be visiting the schools soon?
We were waiting for to become official. We were in the press. We are already in the television. So now it's a step to move on. We're going to start going with Rocky into the first schools and the kindergartens. And yes, he will be in all the events, and you will see him around.
So what's the plan? You sort of you turn up at the schools and you say, here with us is Rocky.
Yes. What happened is in the schools, how we're going to organize? We're going to make a special assembly, and I take this opportunity to thank all the head teachers from the schools because they're going to make one day special just for the visiting of Rocky.
Yeah.
And we will talk about basketball and the values of basketball, and of course give a lot of presents and yes, just say hello and yes.
It sounds like it's all snowballing, all going in the right direction.
Yep.
What sort of challenges have you had so far? I know Jason mentioned the fact that you might soon have too many. Is there a possibility that soon you have too many kids?
Well, we are never happy. We really want to be the leading sport in women's sport in Gibraltar. We have an obsession with that. For us, numbers, for us never is enough. But we believe that we have to go to be solid. The project, we are going step by step.
Yeah.
Every year we're growing up. So we believe very strongly that we don't have no limits. I mean. Probably we have the space limit that unfortunately we're going to, when that problem come up, that we already started having it right now, we will see who we're talking with.
But I suppose that's the best sort of
problem.
Hope. It's a good problem to have, no? And it's sort of the best chance of success in the future, building a wide base. We spoke about it before, natural selection and all that, giving yourself as many people.
At the end of the day, Robbie, when we talk about children, what predominates for the children is for them to enjoy the sport. What we're giving to the children is that an interaction between other girls, with them make friends, an interaction with the ball. Our session, the most important part in our session, apart from the kids enjoying themselves and she smiles, is that they have the ball in their hands for the whole hour. And they're not standing there waiting for them when it's the turn on the drill. Whilst they're waiting, they're dribbling the ball, and we give them homework as well. And we get girls who come to practice. My daughter's very shy. I don't know if she's going to like it. And 2 weeks later, they're hooked into it.
Yeah.
And they start doing homework, and we start incrementing, and then we look ways in order to keep every girl occupied. But we have to reinvent ourselves.
Yeah.
So this is a work in progress. When we talk about taking basketball out to the street, we not talk about only 3-on-3. We talk about coming out on TV, in the radio, the newspaper, out in the community.
Right.
We came
Just
out in the cavalcade, and they know our gimmick is basketball is fun.
Yeah.
But that's generic to any other sport. We know that Gibraltar is multi-sports.
Yeah.
So how do we compete against other sports? We make it fun. And that's our selling point in our program.
I suppose
we are working, I like you said before at the beginning of the program, I've been involved for 30 years and I've represented Gibraltar. And we've received a lot of defeats. But where are you successful at the very, very top? Doing the right things at the very, very bottom. And that is what we're doing.
Yeah, exactly. And it's funny, let me interrupt you, because now few federations and also a couple of clubs from Italy, they already call me and say, we have in a town with no such as many sports competing, how you do it.
Yeah.
And I've been invited to Palermo to go in a couple of weeks through a friend of mine, it's called Luigi La Monica, to go and talk about this, our success, because it's not very usual to in such a small country. We are how many? 38,000 people with so many sports competing. The numbers that we are managed right now with the boys also, not only the girls. We put boys and girls together. We're talking about a very, very important number.
And do you guys think that, bearing in mind the tag basketball is fun and the priority in keeping it fun and the enjoyment aspect, do you think that perhaps other sports, say football, there's the argument to say that now football has become almost semi-professional, right down at grassroots level. They have to take it seriously or they're out. Do you think that could work to your advantage?
This is our model is generic. My coaching philosophy when teaching is correction, repetition, and attention to detail. Any coach in any sport, if they use that philosophy, they can teach fundamentals in any sports. And that is what we're doing.
Right.
That is what we're doing. First of all, and I'm telling the girls right now, the more advanced, 11 and 12-year-olds who are more advanced, is that, listen, now, now that you're hooked into basketball, we can actually be more strict, because they're having fun. But when we start our program, we have discipline. So when we talk, all the players stand in a basketball stance, holding the ball tight.
Yeah.
So this is rules. And why is it successful with so many girls? Because they're disciplined.
Yeah.
It's a universal language, I see now the girls how they get hooked into basketball. It's exactly the same way that I get hooked in South America about 35 years ago. Basketball, the language of basketball is universal. So, and if you have the right people working in the right place, like him, I believe from the first day I see this guy have a talent, and the success is there.
Okay, well, part one has absolutely flown by. We'll call half-time on the show. Join us after the break as we continue this discussion, plus one question and one question only on its way to. See you now. Into the Sports Locker with me, Jason McMahon and Marcelo Zubiran, two figures at the heart of basketball at grassroots level. Towards the end of part one, we were speaking about how far it's come in such a short space of time. During the break, you mentioned that there are a lot of people who need to be mentioned, and that a lot of credit goes to them.
Yeah, I want to say publicly a massive thank. Without them, it's impossible. Stuart from St. Bernard School, Isaac from St. Joseph, big hello from us to Bishop, Mr. Valverde, St. Anne's also, they are great helping with basketball, Lisanne.
A real team effort then?
Yeah, it's amazing. It's just, I cannot say, they are really the big heroes,
Yeah.
They're great professionals.
I think the teachers who inspire children, I think sometimes they don't get enough credit for what they do. Because for you to be a teacher, you have to be passionate about teaching. And they have an impact in our children's lives, in their education, what they're going to become.
They do.
I tell you because I got three children, and I see the impact the teachers have in my three children, and also the success that we're having is as well because of the coaches that we have. They're doing an amazing job.
Yeah.
They're doing an amazing job. And the amount of hours they put, and they're giving back to the sports.
So
they're our heroes in silence.
They are the unsung heroes.
The unsung heroes, exactly.
So basketball is fun, very enjoyable. At what point, at what sort of age do you as coach say, okay, that was fun, now the recruitment process becomes a little bit more elite, a little bit stricter, and you start thinking about, right, who are the players for the future? When do you sort of start thinking about that?
Well, Well, we don't really. We just let them a natural selection. We don't push anybody away.
Okay.
You know?
Not elitist. We're not elitist.
No, we are not elitist at all. We basketball first.
But it needs to be to a certain extent, doesn't it?
But it's a natural selection. Yeah, it's the natural selection. Right now, in the under 14, we don't have those kind of numbers. Next year, we will talk about good numbers, 80, 90, 100. But right now, we are not on that level. In that level. No, not yet.
Our projection that we have for us to have a really, really good program is 5 years.
5 years.
5 years. In 5 years' time, we'll have 5 or 6 teams, like clubs, in under 9, under 11, under 13, under 15, under 16. And in 8 years' time, we'll go through all the different categories.
Right, I see.
So this is a progression for it to be successful from the from 6 to 20 years old.
Yeah.
It's 8 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You cannot rush it. And you'll see the results gradually. This is not about winning.
No.
This is about, I think we are successful with the children and the parents because the parents are very, very supportive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're extremely supportive. And we see it in our group, and when they come to practice, they like the interaction that we have with the children. And we get it all the time. But we take a personal interest in all the girls. It's not about winning. For example, this weekend we start the mini basketball league. After a month, we don't tell them, no, you are first, you are last. No, it's not about winning.
Yeah.
It's about,
No,
for them,
that age it has to
progressing.
be about participation.
And the coaches, they have clear instructions that the winning is decided by the children, not the coaches. We have to take a personal interest in the players.
Right.
Because the winning comes later. When it becomes fun and then more serious, after the mini basketball, 13, 14, 15, that's when you start, you practice basketball.
Yeah.
Up to the age of, the best age to learn a sport, 6 to 8. They're sponges. And we talk about, we have a good number of girls playing basketball. But the girls don't only play basketball. They play other sports.
You're competing against others.
No,
aren't you?
and they do ballet, they're into scouts, they do lessons.
Dancing.
And we train 3 times a week. Some of the girls don't train 3 times a week. Those who do are better than the others.
So we talk about the participation at grassroots level. Let's look slightly older now when the later comes, when the results do start to matter. You were in charge of the under-16 girls last July. What did you make of that? Was that their first competition?
Well, in that tournament, it was Kaira Sene, the head coach,
Right.
where his assistant. But now I take over. Yes, from
Massive experience.
Yeah, massive experience. Like, oh my God, what is this? You know, you building up the character of winning.
So they just about lost to Wales. They then beat Monaco, lost just to Armenia, who were actually the eventual winners. And then we lost to Kosovo as well. So it could have been worse.
Yeah, we were very close to become into the semi-finals. You know, the difference was by 1 point. But really, for us, it was, as I say, one of the programs. We teach them how to play, how to win. You know, there is a learning process, especially for this generation.
Yeah.
Who are actually very lucky because now they play in the under 13 boys league. And they won it. So now they're jumping up into a higher competition. So, you know, we get in there. We teach them how to, you know, be tough.
Yeah.
Don't miss practice, because if you miss practice, there is somebody else who will occupy your place.
I mean, they say in not just in basketball, in sport generally, they say that you learn a lot more from losing than you do from winning.
Exactly. You know. We definitely are, and in my personal experience, it is good. I don't like losing, but I have to be honest to you that, you know, it helps, because when you lose, you start thinking 1,000 things.
Why this?
How can I improve? You know, when you're winning, it's like, oh, you are in a suite, you feel like you are incredible, but you are not. You know, we were not that bad before, and we are not great now. You know what I mean? So
for this coming July, the same women's under 16
Right.
women's European
Right.
Championship Division C,
Right.
Group B with Scotland, Wales, and the hosts Moldova. Tough draw.
well, at this level, you never know if it's tough or normally there is, because we're playing against countries that the basketball, you know, is quite, you know, popular. We will see what happens. We will see. It's a really, you know, I have a lot of faith in this group, and you know, we will see.
We'll see.
We will have. One thing we will have is fun. That's for sure. And then if the result is coming along the way, you know, we are. You know, we welcome that too, you know.
Will Rocky be going to Moldova with you?
We're negotiating that. I don't think they will get a visa, you know. The Moldovans say, no, this hungry, this monkey will eat all the players, and, you know, we will see.
Jason, we're gonna have to wrap up relatively soon. I just wondered what you'd consider, what's the overall aim, what you'd consider a success, say, I don't know, 10 years down the line. What would you look back on and think, yes, we did that right?
Having girls in every category, like sustain 5 basketball clubs.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
under 13, under 15, under 17, a senior team, and go to Division C and compete.
Yeah.
And
And
maybe even
compete.
get promoted.
Promoted, promotion, there's an economical side to that.
Right.
But we are working because, to give you my humble opinion, I'm tired of losing. I am tired of losing.
Yeah.
And that's why I love coaching at this age group. I really do. I'm learning as well from the girls. They learn from me, I learn from them.
Yeah.
It's for me.
It's a two-way street.
I finish a practice, I say, wow. You know how I feel? Practice is 1 hour and it feels like 10 minutes. It goes like that, really, really fast. And I think if we are able to sustain this program for 5 years, we'll see the results. And we'll see the results not only in Gibraltar, but when we go to tournaments.
Okay,
Yeah.
well,
Yeah, let me very quickly. First of all, we need to restructure everything we did from in-house. So now that we are sorted out, we're going to start thinking, okay, we not only look for numbers here, then when the times arise, we want to be from the small countries, try to be one of the best.
Yes.
We know that we cannot go over, but from the small countries,
right.
I want to be the best in all the categories, and this is how
I think that's an ambitious but a realistic aim.
Yeah, realistic. You know, this is how we are. You know, we are only 38,000 people. We're a small country. We try to be the best in our competition, and they might take 5-6 years, but we're going to be the best on that. We cannot dream to play in the European A. That's impossible. That's not true. That's not real. But what is real is this, and we try to make the difference on this.
It will happen, eh?
It will happen.
In 5 years' time, like this, like we are right now,
It happens.
5 years' time, yes, it will happen.
It will happen.
This positivity is rubbing off on me, guys. Just before we go, we're going to crack on with one question and one question only. It's our regular feature, and these two are in the spotlight. Sam, take it away.
Coach Jay, Marcelo, let's get serious. Who's the best basketball player to have ever played the game? Kobe, LeBron, or MJ? The decision's yours.
Thank you, Sam.
What a question that is.
Oof, we are under pressure now, coach.
Yep. You first.
You want to go first?
No, go first.
Well, for me, it's my generation. It's Michael Jordan.
Yeah, definitely.
But if you
thank
look, for our generation, it's Michael Jordan. But
Okay.
what he's done for the sport,
Yeah.
and what he's done both inside and outside. He's a role model to all the generations.
Yeah.
But you look at LeBron James.
He's an animal. He's my generation.
Look at LeBron James.
He's my generation.
Look at LeBron James. He's the same.
Yeah,
It's
but,
exactly the
Yeah,
same.
but Kobe is in another level.
It's a good question, huh?
Very good question.
But there's no right answer.
No.
There is no right answer.
Because they were great in every generation, so it's quite difficult. But I think Michael Jordan has it all. Body, even if he was a good-looking guy too. So, you know.
And that slam dunk in the film Space Jam was just amazing.
Amazing.
I mean, that really set him apart, I think.
Yeah, he's above.
We are going to see his team play next month
Yes.
in Boston.
Yes.
He's the owner of...
Charlotte Hornets.
Yep. In Boston Garden.
Yes.
You guys have plenty to look forward to in that case. Well, guys,
Thank you for having us, Robin. It's been a pleasure.
Robin, 1,000 thanks, eh?
No problem at all. I'm afraid, though, that's all we've got time for this evening. As I said, a massive thanks to my guests, Marcelo and Jason, and, of course, Rocky the mascot, too, who got hungry and scurried off at half-time. Join us again next week as we discuss the nominees for the upcoming 2017 GBC Sports Awards. Until then, it's good night.